Hey Civ fans, Ed Beach here, Creative Director of the Civ franchise at Firaxis. Today I'm here to talk about the free 1.4.0 update to Civilization VII we're calling Test of Time. Planned to go live soon. This is by far and away the biggest update we've had since the launch of Civ 7, and in a lot of ways it's really built around the feedback we've heard from you, our community. This update brings a lot of changes, but 3 really stand out as the core of 1.4.0. First, you can now start and stay as any Civ in any age. Second, we've replaced the legacy path system with something more flexible and sandbox-driven that we're calling Triumphs. And third, we've overhauled Victories, the main goals that guide your strategy across military, economic, cultural, and scientific play. These weren't small changes, and we wanted to make sure we got them right. A big part of that came from the thousands of players who joined us in the Firaxis feature workshop and helped shape these systems early. Beyond the big pillars, there's a lot more in here too. A new map type, balance updates, UI and UX improvements, and even a brand new leader, free for everyone as a thank you for all the feedback, passion, and playtime since launch. With that, I'll toss it to Matt to go over something many of you have been waiting for.
Hey all, Matt Owens here, lead designer at Firaxis. With this update, we've added the option to start and stay as any Civ, in any age, what we're calling time-tested Civs. We've heard player feedback on this since Civ 7 launched. Many of you carry a strong fantasy of picking a Civ you love and guiding it from the ancient world all the way to the modern age. This new system is here to support that, and also still preserves what stands Civ 7 apart from past Civ titles. If you decide to play as Rome in the Exploration Age, or America in Antiquity, you're choosing to play that Civ outside its historical Apex Age. Civ's Apex Age is when it's at full strength. You get the full set of unique units, unique infrastructure, and a bespoke civic tree built specifically around that civilization. You'll have the option. You can choose to stay or swap at each age transition. If you play outside of Civ's Apex Age, you'll have new tools to stay competitive. With things like syncretism, you can borrow unique infrastructure or unique units from a Civ at the height of its power. Or, with affirmations, you can double down on your Civ's identity and strengths. Time-tested Civs also carry their unique ability across the ages, often evolving over time, and gain civics and masteries based on their attributes to help them scale throughout the game. But we didn't stop at systems either. This update adds new music, narrative events, and artwork to support Civs across ages. Some of that music is playing right now. And you'll feel the difference right away. When you start a new game in 1.4.0, every base game Civ and any DLC Civs you own are available from turn 1. So that list will look a lot bigger now. We've also updated the Create Game UI to make the expanded roster even easier to navigate. The choice will be yours at age transition, to stay or swap, so do what makes sense for your strategy, your roleplay, or just to try out something new. It's all in your hands.
Okay, let's move on to the next big change. Legacy paths have been officially replaced with a new system called Triumphs. Instead of a set list of goals per age the old legacy paths provided, Triumphs offer a lot more flexibility and sandbox-style gameplay. For Civ 6 players, these play a bit like historic moments and Golden Age rewards, with some key differences. In each game, you'll be given a range of optional challenges, over 90 of them and likely to grow, tied to 6 core attributes in Civilization VII: militaristic, cultural, scientific, economic, diplomatic, and expansionist. Some triumphs will trigger naturally through strong play, like when you hit a population milestone. Others are more challenging and risky, like maintaining wars on multiple fronts or racing to secure the most natural wonders. Triumphs come in 2 flavors. Minor triumphs are quicker wins with immediate bonuses. Major triumphs take more commitment, but they're the ones that unlock dedications for your next stage or push you closer to a victory. Speaking of dedications, those are unique and powerful bonuses that you can choose at the start of the next stage. You can get these by completing major triumphs, leveling up a leader, or managing a crisis successfully. And finally, there's Triumph sets, which is something we've had a lot of fun designing. This is a new advanced options feature that lets you tweak the entire feel of Triumphs before you even start a game. One of my personal favorites is the Trailblazer set. It turns every Triumph into a race, so only the first person to complete a Triumph gets the reward. It adds a layer of tension where you're weighing, do I go for this now, or risk losing it to someone else? There's a lot of potential with this system for both us as designers and for the community. We're particularly excited to see what modders come up with. So let us know how things feel and which Triumphs are your favorite. With the Test of Time update, victories in Civ 7 have been completely reworked to feel more dynamic, flexible, and connected across the entire game. Instead of locking you into a single path in the late game, you'll now be building towards multiple victories from the very beginning across every age. Military, cultural, and economic victories are now all about taking and holding the lead. You'll need to build a significant advantage over the second place player to nab your victory. Early on, that lead needs to be overwhelming. But as the game progresses, the requirements scale down, opening the door for tighter finishes. Once you cross that threshold, a 5-turn countdown begins. Your opponents have one last chance to catch up and stop you. If they can't, victory is yours. To support this, each victory type now has its own unique scoring system. Military players earn points through conquest and control. Cultural players generate tourism through wonders, artifacts, and celebrations. Economic players build GDP through empire and factory resources, infrastructure, treasure fleets, and trade. And most importantly, progress starts early. You're building momentum across every age, unlocking new ways to score, and constantly shaping your path forward. Now, science plays a little differently. Instead of competing for dominance, the science victory is a race. You'll generate innovation, advance through the tech tree, and push towards the space race. Once you hit 100 innovation points, you'll need to maintain an active launch pad for 5 turns to secure the win. It's fast and it's focused. If you're not paying attention, a science player can end the game before anyone sees it coming.
Next up, a new map type. We're adding Fractal Continents, a map that prioritizes randomness and exploration. The only thing guaranteed is a certain fraction of distant lands, but the shapes and number of landmasses are up to fate. We could explain more, but best to just see what it looks like for yourself. Here are a couple examples. One small, one large, to show the variety. .140 also comes with a host of UI/UX improvements, aimed at making it easier for you to navigate yields, trade routes, advisors, and so much more. Let's start with the commerce screen, a brand new hub for managing resources, trade routes, and the overall flow of your empire, without having to bounce between a bunch of different menus. In general, there should be way fewer "why can't I do this" moments. Starting with resources, you can now preview how your yields will change before committing to a resource assignment. We've also added better filtering, clearer tooltips, and more useful tags, so it's easier to understand what each resource does, where it's coming from, and where it's going. On the trade route side, you can see what's active, what's available, and what's currently unavailable, and importantly, why. So, if you can't set up a trade route, the game will tell you what's missing and how to get there. We also added a consolidated empire overview, so you can see all of your resources in one place. And finally, for the exploration age, there's now a dedicated view for treasure convoys. You can quickly see what each settlement is producing, how close it is to generating more, what those convoys are worth, and what you need to do if something's blocking your progress. For the players that like a guiding hand, and especially for players that may be jumping in for the first time with .140, we've added more tutorialization to help out. We've revamped advisors, your helpful Civ guides, so they're more active throughout all 3 ages, and more discerning in their advice too. You're able to adjust which advisors' guidance or warnings you want to see and turn them off completely. There's even more UI improvements you'll find when you fire up .140. But we'll move to another great surprise coming with this update. A free leader for all Civ 7 players Alexander the Great. Great in both name and deed, Alexander conquered from Greece to India, spreading culture and founding the famed cities of Alexandria. True to his militaristic and cultural attributes, his unique ability, King of the World, grants increased production and cultures to cities with a wonder, doubled if they're on another continent, and boosts the combat strength of your land military units. His first look and game guide are live, so check them out for more info.
When we say 140 is big, we mean it. There's a lot we didn't cover in detail in this video, but items that are still worth a shout out. To give you a brief highlight before the patch notes drop, let's run through a few standouts. A huge overhaul to balance touches nearly every part of the game: leaders, civs, yield economy, mementos, and more. We have brand new art and audio. We've added more sound effects and over 150 new audio tracks to support Test of Time. There are new narrative events, especially when you're playing as a time-tested civ. The age transitions are smoother, so that changing of ages is less abrupt and keeps you within the game world. Improved map and biogeneration supports more interesting and varied maps. Plenty of new meta progression challenges that support those Test of Time features. And finally, several smaller quality of life improvements, like the ability to swap tiles between settlements and auto pan to where combat is occurring. There's even more in the patch notes, so don't forget to read those when they go live alongside the Test of Time update. We want to take a moment here to give a huge shout out to our Firaxis feature workshoppers, the thousands of Civ fans who participated in our early testing rounds of these features. Thank you for your thoughtful feedback, for the many bugs squashed during development, and for giving us the opportunity to improve this update before it went live. If you want to participate in future workshops, or you just want to talk about the new update with fellow Civ fans, come join the Civ official Discord, where we live and breathe all things Civ. With that, enjoy 140, and let's see if your empire can stand the test of time.